watching PowerNation. Today we stopped by DBR High Performance for a little inspiration from the TrackHawk. We haven't had a chance to drive one of these.
Well, the key's in it. It's all yours.
Let me see what it does here. Oh yeah.
It doesn't even...
Dude!
And come up with our own plan. Some type of Jeep SUV, supercharged.
Yep.
Big bad brakes.
707 plus horsepower.
Yes. To go really fast.
David, how's it going?
What's up?
Olivia. So this is Brandon.
How you doing, Brandon?
And I told him what a nice place you had down here, and we were hoping that you would give us a shop tour.
Come on back.
All right.
DBR High Performance is a speed shop. We take your vehicle and make it faster. We specialize in domestic V8s, whether that's Chevy, Ford, Dodge, anything from superchargers, turbos, nitrous, bolt-ons, camshafts, anything in the realm of that. We do a ton of trucks. Trucks are really popular, especially in the Tennessee area. I started DBR High Performance because I just felt there was a need in this Nashville area to go fast, and I wanted to fill that need. I've always done racing since I was a kid, and I just wanted to do it for a living. So this is our dyno room. This is where we do all of our dyno tuning on our mainline hub dyno.
Yeah, I see the vet on there. That's pretty awesome, ZR1. What I want to know though is, what's this grocery getter doing in here?
Well, it does look like a regular Grand Cherokee. It is a Grand Cherokee, obviously. But if you notice the brakes, they're a little bigger than normal.
So it's an SRT8?
It's not an SRT8. It's something tricky under the hood. It's a Jeep TrackHawk.
Wow. It doesn't look like it.
It doesn't. It's been debadged to not look like it on purpose.
Yeah.
Bit of a sleeper.
I guess that's the point of the pinstriping here.
The pinstripe, yep.
Blacked out calipers.
Yep.
We haven't had a chance to drive one of these.
Well, the key's in it. It's all yours.
So we can take it?
You can take it.
I want to drive first.
Awesome. David, you're the man.
All right.
Ooh, and it's got the red key.
Now it's time to get a little inspiration for our next project. Listen to that.
That whine is incredible.
You don't even, I mean, you hear the exhaust a little bit, but the whine just like pops. Dude. Oh, nice.
Whoa. Dude,
okay. That is no joke.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see it in my face. I'm like, whoa.
Wow. At least it's got good brakes too. That's another thing.
Oh yeah, this thing feels in the whoa and the go.
It's all
feels
there.
The same.
On its own, it's just a 700 horsepower Hellcat engine, right?
Yeah.
But it's what you put it in that makes this thing so valuable. It's what makes this thing so expensive.
What makes it the package of it's getting what you want in something practical.
Sure. Turn right here. Actually, pull it into the church.
And then you want to switch?
Yeah, let's switch. So you gonna let me drive it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Dude, this thing. And the braking is just on point with it.
Dude, that was naughty. Let me see what it does here. Oh yeah.
It doesn't even.
Dude!
Yes. This thing hugs the road.
I didn't even expect it to do what it just did. This is the pinnacle of a performance SUV.
Yeah.
Performance truck slash SUV. Like, this is it. Nothing gets better than this. What if we just took the performance level that this thing comes out of the box with?
Big brakes, high horsepower,
SUV,
SUV.
and we build our own.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be more challenging and different than just going and buying one of these and making 1,000 wheel horsepower.
Yeah, and then we can just build it the way we want, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost of buying this thing new.
Yeah, so the key points are some type of Jeep SUV, supercharged,
Yep.
big bad brakes.
707 plus horsepower.
Yes.
If you knock that off, then you've got, well, a knockoff.
Let's go ahead and just take this back to the shop
Yeah, I think we need to do some testing.
and reconnaissance.
Wow. Coming up next, instead of us getting our own TrackHawk, we want to use this to inspire our newest build.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the TrackHawk.
.707 horsepower, all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat on the street. This thing is a complete animal. I cannot say enough good things about the TrackHawk. I had a lot of fun in many vehicles over the years, but never had as much fun on the street in a stock production vehicle as I have with this, and that says a lot considering it's a big, heavy SUV. Now, we could pick one of these up for the shop, but I think this thing is perfect the way it is. We could do bolt-ons, E85 swap, make 900 at the tires, but people are already doing that to these. So instead of us getting our own TrackHawk, we want to use this to inspire our newest build.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the TrackHawk.
This is a 1986 Jeep Wagoneer, not a Grand Wagoneer. It's based on the XJ platform, just as the Cherokees were from 1983 to 2001. This one's just a little fancier.
This one came equipped with factory vinyl wrapped wood grain, 4 headlights, even came with a set of fog lights. That's where it all stops. Doesn't have 707 horsepower, not all-wheel drive, no ABS, no warranty, not reliable, list goes on and on. The only thing it does have is the $2,000 price tag.
Which I like. And we could pick everything out of this, or even one that's been rolled over, and put it into our Jeep, but at what point do you just buy one of these? So we really need to take what the essence of a TrackHawk is and inject that into our Jeep. What do we need to do that, Brandon?
Well, it needs to be V8, needs to be supercharged.
Gotta have the whine.
Gotta have that
Yep.
whine, and it needs to make at least 707 horsepower.
Okay, that's enough. I mean, if we can accomplish all of that, we've got our hands full. Now, before we dig into this thing and start taking it apart, let's look at what we're starting with. Said we picked this thing up for pretty cheap, $2,000. Well, the reason is because it's got the 2.8 liter V6 under the hood, but not only that, the crankshaft is broken. So this is basically a pretty nice roller. One thing I noticed right off the bat, though, it's a small engine bay, so that's a bit of a concern for me.
Well, the one good thing is they put the straight 6s in these trucks, so you know you have length,
Okay.
but the width is gonna be the problem. Might have to pull the Sawzall and grinder out, but we gotta make sure that we put all the strength back because it is a unibody.
Right.
That's one of the big concerns.
Well, we can figure that out. Engine bay, we'll get there. Let's talk about my favorite part of this
Okay.
vehicle. I love this interior. Brandon, how about leather and corduroy?
It's the continuing wood grain for me.
And it's in good shape too. For 35 years old, you can tell this vehicle was really well cared for.
Well, it's all original and nothing's been cut up.
That's probably the best part. You think the front seats look good? Wait till you see the back. This thing looks like it's never even been sat in. I mean, look at that leather.
I mean, seating for 5, and check this out. All this room, you could start a family in here.
Let's just get it in the air and see what's going on underneath.
XJs are unibodies, and this one's been taken care of pretty good. Someone undercoated it before to stop a lot of corrosion.
Yeah, but just because they took care of it doesn't mean that it's going to handle all the power we're going to throw at it.
No, especially the Dana 30.
Right. I mean, that thing is super puny. I mean, look at this drive shaft. It is no thicker than my thumb.
Yeah, that's puny.
We put steering shafts on trucks bigger than that. Transmission transfer case.
Junk.
Same thing exactly. Moving on to the rear.
Fuel system, it's not gonna handle 700 horsepower. Dana 35, not gonna handle it.
No way. Yeah. Well, we just need to start draining some fluids, getting some things out of here, and
Yeah, let's tear it apart.
all right, let's do it.
Up next,
Send it to the scrap bin. It's time to figure out just the right engine.
The unibody and the firewall where they meet, that's the strongest point on that truck. And if you start cutting that up,
I have an idea. Meet me at the truck.
okay.
Well, we're plugging away on our Jeep Wagoneer here. We've got everything underneath disconnected. That'd be the drive shafts, exhaust, all the plumbing and linkage, and we've got the transfer case sitting there on the cart.
Everything underneath the hood's been taken apart. Radiator's gone, all the hoses and wiring. We even got the transmission on a jack right now. The only thing left is the 2 bolts and this thing's coming out.
Let's do it. Oh, I'm loose here.
Did you disconnect everything?
Got an oil pressure switch sitting over here. I hope so. We'll find out in a minute. That's loose. Couple of vacuum lines. There's only 100 of them.
Well, it's the 80s.
You're good now? Send it to the scrap bin.
There we go.
Good enough.
Sweet.
Wow.
There's actually a lot more room than I thought there was.
Same.
Even the engine mounts, they got like another bracket we can get 3 or 4 more inches out of.
Cool.
At least for the width.
So now what do we do?
Take all this vacuum stuff up and clean it up and see if we can take some measurements.
All right, let's do it.
We're not sure what we're gonna use yet, but we know what we're not gonna use, so out it comes. Sorry, cruise control. I think we should save the power distribution block for the alternator and battery. This goes into the main harness, but a lot of this sensors and
Yeah, this is more sensors.
more sensors, I would just lop
Keep-
it all off.
Got you there.
Now you gotta wonder if I was being serious or being facetious.
I tell you what, I'm just gonna keep them here for now, and if we need to cut them later,
Yeah, you can decide later.
we'll decide later.
I love tearing everything apart. Whether it goes back together is sometimes my problem, but a lot of times not my problem.
It's gonna be my problem. I think I'm gonna leave everything else here, which is kind of important. A blank canvas. These engine mounts and brackets, obviously all that's gonna have to go, but let's just take a measurement across the narrowest part and see what we're working with.
Yeah,
We can do the back of the bracket.
back of the bracket. That's 23 3/4 on the back of my bracket, so.
It's not a lot. Being this is a unibody, I mean, without notching the frame, I mean, it's gonna be kind of tight. I think we should just start measuring some engines and see what we got.
I mean, if we got a Hemi block.
Gen 3 Hemi.
Yeah.
We actually have one in-house. Let's get a measurement on that and go from there.
Okay.
All right, so I think this is Detroit Muscle engine, but kind of gives us the idea
Oh,
for
yeah.
size.
Gen 3 Hemi.
Yep. So we should probably take a measurement like outside of the valve cover.
valve
to
covers.
outside. All right.
That's 26.5. Woo, that's pretty tight. I mean, the bottom might work, the block, as far as the block, but if you use the stock manifolds, or even if you made some custom exhaust manifolds.
Yeah, I think the
mean,
problem's gonna be like with the firewall.
well, the unibody. I mean, the unibody and the firewall where they meet, that's the strongest point on that truck. And if you start cutting that up.
I have an idea. Meet me at the truck.
Okay.
Hey, Brandon.
Yep.
Catch.
Oh man,
What?
LS.
Well, yeah. What's wrong with that? Look at that.
I mean, it does fit. I hate to be those guys who put LSs and everything, but there's a reason. It's a small package with a lot of potential.
Yeah, I mean, we could force the Gen 3 Hemi thing, but The guys down in Engine Power actually have an LS that they're working on right now that would be ideal to reach our power level. We just need to get a supercharger to put on top of it. I say we make some engine mounts and just go from there. With our engine choice made and Brandon working on the engine mounts, I figured I'd go ahead and get our transmission figured out and show you what we're working with. Now we know that the TrackHawk is both all-wheel drive and automatic, and that's part of what makes it so streetable, but we're gonna actually go in another direction. We're gonna go with a stick and two-wheel drive. And to do that, we're gonna use this Magnum 6-speed that we got from American Powertrain. This thing is great because it does have 6 forward gears, but the main thing with it is it'll handle that 700 pound-feet of torque that we're thinking we're gonna make. Not only that, the kit comes with a scatter shield. You can't just run a regular cast bell housing on something like this. A twin disc clutch from Centerforce. What's great about a twin disc is it is streetable, but then it also has that extra grip for that kind of torque level. The kit also comes with this Hydramax clutch release bearing kit. It's basically your throwout bearing is your clutch release, and that's gonna be all hydraulic, and we'll figure that out as far as connecting that to a clutch pedal later on. For now, we're just in the mock-up phase, so we just need to get the bell housing mounted to the transmission and get it in the truck. Coming up, we test fit for a new engine for TrackHawk.
Plus, our transmission works its way in,
We're not hitting the floor anymore.
That's good.
and then comes a big surprise. Special delivery.
Ooh, look at that.
Now, TrackHawk hasn't been this clean since probably before I was born. So after its bath, I still had to make the engine mounts. Now, this is a unibody, so you can't just go welding motor mounts to the sheet metal. You actually have to plate them, especially since we're running 707 plus horsepower in this thing. Now, I found a company online, Overkill by Design, that actually makes engine mount swap kits for LS to XJs. This is perfect because it's pretty much what I was gonna design, but this is bolt-in, and it's gonna save us a lot of time on this project. Plus, they're powder coated.
Yeah, and on the engine side, it comes with these polyurethane mounts, so all we really need to do is drop this thing in. All the room. Let's go up with it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got our engine mounted in place, and that is a big relief. We still need to figure out our transmission here, but it looks like there's a lot of room. What is going to be a concern is where the shifter is going to land. This vehicle was an automatic, and we removed the shifter, and it was like this big shifter assembly. It left this big hole in the floor here, and that's really where our shifter needs to land. That's going to be the most comfortable for the driver. So there's only one way to find out, get a measurement and figure out where it is. And the center of this hole is actually 23 and about a quarter. So let's see what it's like here. 27.
I mean, that's a little long, but these shifters are reversible. They
Yeah.
might get us pretty close.
Actually, yeah, if it flips around 180, that's gonna be like within a quarter of an inch.
Yeah, let's try it.
All right. That's the great thing about these aftermarket transmissions. There's different shifter configurations which work in a wide range of applications. Oh, look at that. 23 and 1/4
Oh,
to
dude,
the
that's
center of the holes.
you can't get better, any better than that.
Nah.
Might have to take that bracket off. Keep going. Right there, you're touching.
Okay. It's hitting that bracket.
Okay, so we're gonna take that bracket off.
Yeah.
Even though the transmission fits in the tunnel, we want to make sure that there's enough clearance for when the drivetrain's under load.
Oh, it looks good this time. Let me change the angle just a little bit.
Swing the rear.
Yeah, can you swing the rear? Is that where the boot's hitting? Yeah.
Yeah. I think if we just cut that floor pan open just a little bit more.
So like right there. Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, right there. Yeah, that's close.
Close.
Yeah.
We're not hitting the floor anymore.
Well, that's good.
Before I make my own, I want to see if this original cross member is going to work for us. Dude, that cross member actually works pretty good.
Yeah, you got enough room here. And what's nice is we'll be able to run our exhaust above it.
All we gotta do is make a little pedestal for the trans mount.
Yeah. Well, the factory one was similar, but we could either bolt it in or just weld it on there with an offset pedestal.
I think just weld off a new pedestal.
All right. For now, do you want to just, since this is where we want to set it, do you want to just set something in here for now? That way we can get the transmission jack out and go back up top?
Yeah, I think a 2x4 will sit in
And
there.
we'll make that later?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Good. Good. Special delivery.
Ooh, look at that. That's going to make the power.
Yeah. You want to throw it on?
Yeah, let's do it. You need to slide back a little bit.
Right there.
There, yeah.
Dude.
Wow.
I think the hood's gonna close.
Only one way to find out. All right, let's give this thing a try. I think it's gonna close. Oh yeah. And with room to spare too. Brandon, how's the shifter location? Brandon. Hey,
What? Hey,
how's the shifter?
it's awesome. It fits in the same hole. I think the whole interior is gonna go back the same.
Perfect. We're well on our way then.
Yes. This is too much fun though.
Follow along with us on this build at PowerNationTV.com.